Hello, my name is Gary Schneidkraut, the Vice President of Wine and Spirits at Protis Global Executive Search, and I'm here today with Emma Medina, Senior Vice President of Marketing for Cincoro Tequila.
Hi, Gary. Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely, it's been a while since we last connected, and I'm
hmm
thrilled we're able to chat. Before the holidays. This video will be coming out after, but yeah, really excited to speak with you today, especially about Cincoro Tequila. Um, so Emma, as a brand champion, you have been rooted in values and integrity. You've spent the past 2.5 decades leading some of the most iconic spirits brands in the industry. In addition to having been with organizations like Diageo, Pernod Ricard, Remy Cointreau, you were the chief marketing officer at Clase Azul Tequila and currently serve as the head of marketing for Cincoro Tequila. Today, we're going to discuss what drew you to the spirits industry, how Cincoro differentiates itself in a very competitive tequila category, and you'll share your insights and nuances on the future of luxury marketing. So, Emma, would you mind kicking it off with just some more information about yourself and your journey into the spirits industry?
Absolutely. Thank you. It's interesting when you graduate from university with a degree in marketing, the first thing that pops in your mind is not, I'm going into the booze business, right?
Yeah.
So I started off on the advertising agency side and then PR agency. And I got to work, it was the best education possible. I work with some of the best in the industry. And I got to work on some of the most interesting brands, right? I got to work on Coca-Cola, Quaker Oats, but then also brands like Tampax and, United Health, I'm sorry, the New York State Health and Hospitals Corporation. So like a real myriad of products and services. But there was nothing at the time. I think a lot of the CPG brands were really targeted on features and benefits. It was always about communicating those features and benefits. It wasn't until at the agency we landed, a couple of spirits brands and specifically Johnny Walker that I got super excited because it wasn't just about the taste of the product or it wasn't just about how it was made. Yes, that was an important part of it, but it was also about how it inspired people and how it connected with people on a human and a very emotional level. It was about lifestyle. It was about aspirations. And that just hooked me right away. And I think, as they say, the rest is history.
That's interesting. I had no clue that your experience spanned so vastly across consumer goods. Being in spirits now, I mean, how did you make that jump from the agency side? Was it Diageo? Was your first role with the
Correct.
spirits portfolio? How
Well,
did you make that jump?
it was a company called Shefflin and Somerset that later got absorbed by Diageo. And there was a gentleman there that by the name of Dan Butling, who was the VP of the Scotch group, the Scotch brand group. And, I worked on his brands on the agency side. And there was a position opening up on his team for the launch, well, managing a very small niche brand called Pinch Scotch whiskey, and then they were launching an expansion plan on a very regional brand called Buchanan Scotch whiskey. And
Familiar.
so he needed, an extra person on the team, and I joined, and I really learned a ton from him because, obviously I knew the advertising and communications aspect of it, but not the brand management aspect of it. And that's where, that was a real education working at Shefflin and Somerset. I had some of the most amazing co-workers and mentors there that really helped me grow as a brand manager and really understand the business side of it, not just the communications aspect of it.
Right. Uh, those who know me know that to call me a tequila enthusiast, I think is an understatement. So some of the brands that you've led marketing with are among my favorites. Cincoro Tequila has a very interesting origin story. I
Mm.
believe it was five NBA owners over dinner chatting about tequila. But would you mind telling me a little bit more about Cincoro's foundation and how you remain a luxury brand as opposed to a celebrity brand?
Right. Yes. I mean, it really is an amazing story. And one of our co-founders, Amelia Fazzolari, she is really, of the five founders, the one that just does such a beautiful job of telling the story. And she's the one that hired me. And it was her infectious energy that really brought me to this company. And so the way she tells the story and, what I've heard from everyone, involved in the company is that first imagine this: 5 NBA team owners, fierce rivals. I mean, even till this day, when they're playing against each other, they can't be in the same room. I mean, they are really fiercely competitive rivals on the court. But, they all belong to the NBA Board of Governors. And so there was an NBA Board of Governors meeting in New York, and Amelia suggested to her then boyfriend, now husband, that they get together with the other board members for dinner on this specific, I think it was the labor committee. And, Wick reached out to the other members, who were Michael Jordan, who was at the time, lead owner of the North Carolina Hornets, the Charlotte Hornets, Jeannie Buss, who is the owner of the Lakers, and then Wes Edens, who's the owner of the Milwaukee Bucks. And so they got together for dinner. And, originally they met at the bar at the hotel, and they started having a drink. They were just about to order, Wick and Amelia were about to order a whiskey when Michael suggested tequila. And, that's really what kind of kicked it off, because he was the real tequila connoisseur of the group. And he really kind of taught them how to appreciate it, how to drink it, that it's not a shot. You drink it, over a large cube of ice and you sip it. And, they started talking about how beautiful a spirit it was, but that there was still an opportunity for creating something that was tasted even better, something that was just simply delicious, that was smooth, had a long, luxurious finish, and that could sip like a fine cognac or, or a luxury whiskey. And so they set out to create the best tasting tequila in the world. In fact, they set out to create the gold standard in tequila, hence the name Cincoro. Cinco for five, the five founders, and oro, which is gold in Spanish.
Interesting. I love that. Yeah, me and Michael Jordan, we have a lot in common. Similar jump shot, and it's good to know that we're also tequila
Aficionados.
exactly. But yeah, you mentioned fierce competitors. Michael Jordan is probably the athlete name that comes to mind when you mention competition and competitiveness. So I think that's a great story that they came together and really began to appreciate this spirit along the lines of authenticity.
Mm.
In previous conversations with you and discussing the brands that you've represented, you are very true to integrity and authenticity. Authenticity in luxury marketing. I'm curious, can you share an example of how you've successfully maintained authenticity while also scaling a brand and sort of meeting those business objectives?
Absolutely. I think, it always goes down to really identifying the core of the brand, right? Those that the core kind of manifestation of what that brand represents, the essence of the brand, not just the product features and benefits, right? Or not just the schematics of the brand. So, I think even though, yes, there are five very famous people that are behind this brand,
Mhm.
the way they approached it was very much authentically wanting to produce the best. And they were all very much involved from tasting. Literally, they tasted over 1,000 different tequilas before they aligned on our taste profile that exists and is our signature taste today, right? They worked with the distillery. They, various trips down to Mexico.
Mhm.
Michael Jordan tapped, his friend and longtime, Nike Special Creative Projects VP to help him design the bottle. And there's so many intricate details that went into creating this beautiful bottle, right? It is truly one of one, right? That's how we see innovation. It's one of one.
Yeah. And Emma, is it true that every angle on the Cincoro bottle is 20?
So yes, so the bottle slants 23 degrees. The stopper, which is inspired by the king chess piece, so we call it the crown. That slants 23 degrees up, and then in the punt or the base of the bottle, it slants 23 degrees up. And inside that base, which is quite lovely and quite thick, you'll see the fire agave, which is our logo, which represents the five founders. It's an agave with five leaves. And it also represents the tequila process because it's kind of shaped like the agave plant with a fiery shape, because obviously you use fire to cook the agave and also to distill the tequila. And then there's a gold drop that's in the center, and that's the actual tequila. So, there's so much detail went into creating this to really make it so well thought out and so original and true to the brand that with the myriad of tequila brands out there and the sea of celebrity brands that are out there, Cincoro really stands out for its authenticity. We're the only brand where you can take 23 bottles, and if you line them up head to toe, they form a perfect circle the size of the tip-off circle of a basketball court.
It goes that deep, the attention to
Right. So
detail.
it takes exactly. So
My
that level of
goodness.
detail. And then even the branding on the bottle, like we wanted the liquid to stand for itself. So it has very minimal branding. It just has the Cincoro logo on it. There's not a lot of decoration on the bottle, so that you could truly appreciate the liquid.
Yeah, and the bottle is unmistakable. It stands out in the tequila section, and I've been able to taste two of the expressions so far. I'm working my way through the
There
Cincoro
you go.
portfolio, and yeah, the liquid is delicious. So it's refreshing to hear that the founders were taking trips to Mexico, tasted over 1,000 tequilas. I would love, like, if they ever need help in the future, I'm happy to get on a flight to Mexico. But yeah, that it's not just throwing a celebrity name on a brand.
No, not at all. In fact, even till today, in fact, just a couple of days ago, even to today, Michael and Amelia taste every batch before it's bottled. Still, even today, 5 years later. And so they are very much involved. They are very hands-on. Amelia was here in the office just yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So, they are very much hands-on and involved in every step of the building of this brand. And they live it really authentically. Like, they live the brand. They don't have to, we're never going to put Michael Jordan in a commercial,
Right, right.
This is not about that. This is about the deliciousness, the quality of the liquid, the
Yeah.
beautiful, stunning bottle. And it really represents greatness in many ways, right? Because we have these five founders who just don't settle, right? They're always striving for greatness. And we as a company strive for greatness with Cincoro. And we're always looking to not just, achieve the goal that we set out for this year, but, learn from that, exceed our goals, and continue to build into the future.
Yeah. And Emma, you've said that the evolution of luxury marketing is going to be going from distant to being more approachable.
Mm.
How is Cincoro navigating the shift while maintaining its position as a premium luxury brand, as premiumization has been driving the growth within spirits?
I think there's a number of things there, right? One is we're not your traditional stuffy luxury brand, right? We have a bit of edge, right? We're high energy, we're involved in sports, obviously. And so it's a much more approachable arena to play in because people that are passionate about sports and about winning, right? They're almost singularly focused on that goal, but they want to celebrate with something that really represents the greatness that they're trying to achieve. And so that's how the brand kind of nicely fits. I mean, we don't have to be stuffy. We're very elegant. It's a beautiful, stunning bottle, but we can be on the golf course, right? We don't have to be, you know, only in the super luxurious environments. Of course, we belong there, and it's, it does beautifully there, and it looks stunning on a back bar. It looks stunning on your table, but it's also just as delicious on the golf course when you just made your first hole in one.
Yes.
Right?
I wouldn't know. I've yet to attain that achievement, but yeah, nice sipping tequila on the course to celebrate. And the thing about sports and why it's such a huge part of American culture is it brings people together,
It
whether
does.
you're rooting for the same team, whether you're rooting against your friend. I'm from New York, as are you. You go
Right.
into a Subway Series game, there's
My God, we
rivalry,
were
but
all dreaming
camaraderie.
for that.
I was at game one of the Subway World Series back in 2000, and I was so hoping for another, battle of the boroughs. But yeah, the drive to be the best, and when you mentioned Michael Jordan, Jeannie Buss and the LA Lakers, the Milwaukee Bucks just won the cup
Mhm.
in the in season tournament in the NBA. Truly winning cultures.
Yep. And the other thing about the bottle that I just wanted to mention is,
Yeah.
one of the wonderful feedback that we've gotten from consumers is that even the bottle feels like a trophy. And
Yes.
so, it has this incredible weight to it, because of its height, it has this beautiful stature. And so it does kind of feel like a trophy. And it's like your own little personal self-reward for everything you strive for.
Yeah, like you survive through Friday, get home,
Right.
hoist that bottle above your head as your victory for surviving the week and kicking off the weekend. Um, Emma,
Exactly.
one more question, and
Mhm.
again, thank you so much for joining me. This has been a lot of fun. I love hearing more about your story and your impact and the way that you communicate the brands that you represent. So thank you very much for joining again.
Well, thank you, Gary. I appreciate it.
At post pandemic, there's been a
Mhm.
lot of evolution in the bev-alc industry. What excites you most about the future of marketing in the spirits industry, and what advice would you give to those marketers looking to enter the space?
Well, there's a lot of things that excite me about the industry, right? And I think marketing as a whole, right? And we have all these new tools that we can lean on, right? We have all these new opportunities to connect with consumers on a more direct and personal way, right? We've gone from, mass marketing and, just outward communication to now having this two-way conversation with consumers and engaging with them on a personal level. And I think that's just going to start to get much deeper with the new tools like AI, of course, and augmented reality and whatever else comes next. But I think personalization is just going to become, more and more, it'll become a bigger part of our marketing initiatives here at Cincoro, but certainly I think across various industries and categories. I also think that, consumer behaviors, they shift according to a number of different factors. And in the spirits industry, I think, there's quite a lot of change recently with regards to low or no alcohol,
Gen
movements,
Z.
etc. Right.
Yeah,
But even there, I think there's huge opportunity. What that does is open up the opportunity for innovation, right? And so we need to understand what's driving these behaviors. And as marketers, that's our number one role, is to, remain curious and to understand our consumer as best as we possibly can, understand their needs, wants, behaviors, their fears, and their aspirations. And so with understanding that, we can develop the innovations, whether it be innovation in product or in the innovation in marketing approaches, communications approaches, that'll help us maintain our brand and maintain those relationships with the consumer. And then with regards to what would I recommend for people and marketers in the future, I think it's that, right? To stay curious. I think that's number one. Stay humble, stay curious. There's actually, going back to my time at Shufflin and Somerset, the CEO at the time when I first started there was a gentleman by the name of Penn Kavanaugh. And there was something he taught all of us that still holds true for me. You take care of the brand and the brand will take care of you. And so I tell that to all, any junior marketers that I meet along the way. Just take care of the brand. Focus on the brand. Don't focus on the politics or anything else that's surrounding you. A lot of that stuff is noise. Focus on the brand and how you can connect that brand with your consumer, and the rest falls into place.
that's that's beautiful. That still you quote one of your bosses from so early in your career,
Mm.
which is just a testament to the power of a great employer culture and learning and development, and really sort of imparting your wisdom onto those sort of entering and beginning their journey.
Yes, exactly. It's interesting because so many people are caught up in the AI or the various technologies, programmatic buying, et cetera, et cetera. I think, look, we all have to stay up to date on all of the new developments and technologies that are available. But at the end of the
Hmm.
day, they're tools that will
Yes.
help us connect with consumers. Let's not lose sight of the goal, which is connecting with consumers. So, as long as we do that, it doesn't matter what changes. Change is constant, right? There's nothing, every morning you wake up and your phone has a new update, right? So change
Yeah.
is constant.
Yeah.
You just have to embrace that and understand that these are just tools that will help you, connect with your consumer. And your job is to figure out how to best do that.
Emma, on behalf of myself, the team at Protis Global, and everybody watching this right now, thank you so much for your time, for your dedication and contribution to such an incredible industry. I think you and I have bonded
Thank you.
over spirits, really just being, our passion. And keep up the incredible work. Cincoro's been on fire. The category's on fire. And I know you'll continue to set Cincoro at the top of the charts.
Thank you so much. And I hope to see you soon, Gary. We got to get together
Yes,
for that drink.
definitely. I'll be up
Yep.
in New York
Always over
soon and
tequila.
always over tequila. Cincoro, you're buying.
That's right. You got it.
All
It's
right.
on me.
All right. Thank you, Emma.
Thank
I'll see
you.
you soon. Take care.
See you soon.
All right.
Bye.
Bye bye.